Okay, so I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but haven't had the courage to get around doing it. But I feel like it's better to talk about things and it's better to be open, and this kind of helps me understand myself. So maybe I can look back at this video in the future and, I don't know, take things from it and look at how far I've progressed in life. And ultimately, if anybody else is watching this video and they can relate to me, then that gives me a good sense of gratitude. So even if 5 or 10 people watch this video and one person takes something from it, then that gives me, like I said, a very good sense of gratitude. So I'm making this video because I want to talk about borderline personality disorder, and it is short for BPD. So I'll call it BPD because it's just easier for me to say. Now, with BPD, it has affected my life and has been a big part of my life, and it's something that I struggle to understand at times and struggle to understand myself. I'm not sure if anybody else feels like that, so I'm going to do my best to talk about it. I'm not a YouTuber, so I'm not used to sitting in front of a camera and talking about especially personal things that affect me. So bear with me. I'm going to try and leave this as unedited as possible, so it's quite raw and real, if that makes sense. So yeah, bear with me. But the main kind of symptom of borderline personality disorder, BPD, in which I feel like I suffer with and I've had some bad experiences with, is the fear of being alone or losing a loved one. Because with BPD, it's very hard to regulate your emotions. Any emotions that you do have are very intensified. So whether that's love, friendship, hate, sadness, anger, we feel that 10 times more than the quote-unquote normal person would. So for example, if we feel like we're losing a special someone or a loved one in our life, and that fear of being on our own makes us do such irrational things, and well, especially for me, puts me in like some of the darkest places that I've ever been in, just to try and get that person back. Now that can mean I'm very suicidal. I make suicide threats to try and keep that person in my life. That's when issues with things like self-harm, paranoia comes into it, obsessions, and also uncontrollable anger towards myself. And you kind of go into like a self-destruct mode, but that doesn't really do anyone any good. It doesn't do yourself any good, and it also doesn't do the person that you think's leaving your life any good, because ultimately what you're doing is pushing that person further away, and you're more or less harming yourself. So that's one of the main symptoms with BPD, from what I can understand anyway, and that's something that I struggle with at times. Now, with BPD, it can commonly be mistaken for bipolar, but I'm no doctor or psychiatrist, so correct me if I'm wrong, but my knowledge of bipolar is that you can have like manic states and be down or happy for like weeks and months on time. But with borderline personality disorder, that can all happen within a day, a minute, an hour. For example, you can be one day as happy as possible. You can feel like a 10 out of 10, and you can be over the moon. You can have so much confidence and love yourself, and then something can happen. There could be like a little tiny trigger, or just, I don't know, something can flip you over the edge. And because you're so high and your mood is so good, that the come down is only round the corner, and it's and you are going to have a come down. And when you do have a come down, you go from feeling like a 9 or a 10 to a 1, a 2, or some cases a 0, and that's when it can get quite dangerous, and that's when things like depression and anxiety start creeping into it. So another thing is body image, which I personally struggle with, and I know quite a few people with BPD struggle with the same thing. It kind of links in with the mood. When your mood is feeling very good, then very low, kind of the same thing with your body image. You can one day look at yourself in the mirror and love what you see and think, you look amazing or whatnot, and then the next day or in the same day you can totally flip the coin and hate yourself and hate the way you look, and that makes you do dramatic things. Like, I've known people have plastic surgery just like that, or get a random tattoo, or shave their hair off or change their appearance. But for me personally, it's things like weight gain, going to the gym, not going to the gym, not eating. My weight is very up and down depending on how I feel. Another thing is splitting. Now, this is kind of when you categorise people into good and bad. So you could meet someone, for example, and then they can say something, or even by the way they look, or just your surrounding can give you a bad feeling, and you instantly don't like that person and you don't want nothing to do with them. Now, this can be an issue when you are in a friendship group or something like that, or you've got a long-term friend and they upset you, or if they do something which you don't like, you instantly push that person away and you want nothing to do with that person because you just feel like that person is bad for you. And that can go the other way, where if you feel like someone's very good, you can keep them close to you and you not fantasize over that person, but you kind of get attached to that person very easy. And then because you feel like that person's so perfect and so good, because you've heightened your expectation of that person, and when something happens that you don't like, or get triggered by something, you instantly get so confused and push that person away, and you don't want nothing to do with them, and ultimately you're going to be alone. And that's what we're scared of, being alone. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but that's what I do. I do feel quite proud for talking and expressing my experience with borderline personality disorder and my mental health, and I hope I can give people the inspiration to talk out as well. Like I said, even if 5 people watch this video and 1 person takes something from it, that gives me a very good sense of gratitude. So thank you. And like I said, this might be a video for me to look back on in the future and learn from. So the more you speak about things, the more you put it out there, and the more you make it aware, and the more you can initially understand yourself. So what I do want to say is, if you are struggling, then reach out, speak to somebody, go and see your doctor, write things down. Writing things down helps me, it could help other people. Just speak and be open. Hopefully me talking about this doesn't change the world, but it's one little baby step towards making speaking out a bit easier for me. So if you are watching this video and you have made it this far, then thank you for watching the video. I will leave my Instagram name in the description. I'm not trying to promote myself or big myself up or anything like that. That's just in case you do want to discuss any of the topics in this video, or you have got any questions. Like I said, I'm not a doctor or psychiatrist, so I can't give you professional medical advice. I can just tell you about my experience, and hopefully that helps someone. So yeah, stay strong, and today's another day.